Hello, what we're going to do today is a quick demonstration showing how to use the Nove communications platform to push data from a Modbus device to Amazon Web Services. So I'm going to start by going into communications on my little config button here. You can see I have an empty configuration, and I'm going to upload a little JSON fragment that I saved earlier that contains a Modbus master. So this is just a very quick way of getting some data into the device. There's another video that shows you how to set up Modbus if you want to get into those details. I'm now going to control click on home, which is going to bring up another copy of the home page where I can see the Modbus master is good. And if I come into this tab here, I can see the data that I'm pulling in. So it's just some numbers that we're going to use to push to the cloud. Now I'm going to go into the AWS IoT console, and I'm going to go into things under all devices there, and I'm going to create a thing, a single thing. Let's call it A1, which happens to be the name of my Nove device. I'm going to give it a classic shadow. We could use the name shadow if we want. And I'm going to tell it to make a certificate for me. I'm going to attach this security policy that I've already created. And now I'm going to download the device certificate, public and private keys to keep it happy. And now we've got that created. Now I'm going to go into domain configurations here. They keep moving this, but I'm going to find the domain name that we're going to use to attach. I'm going to put that on the clipboard. So now I can go back into Nove. Under network protocols, let's add MQTT AWS. And under devices, let's add a device. And it's going to prompt us for the endpoint, which is what we just put on the clipboard, so we can put that in there. Thing name is going to be automatic because we already set that as A1. And now we can upload here the device certificate and the device private key, not the public key, the private key. So that's created that then. You can see we have the message mode set to shadow, and we're using the classic unnamed shadow. There's lots of advanced options here we can come back to later, but first of all, I'm going to turn on some diagnostics, status, transactions, data, and I'm going to turn on pretty, which instead of showing the data in hex form, will render it in JSON if it can. Here we can see how the data is formatted, MQTT options, networking options, things like that. We're not really worried about any of those. But we have a single group set up already, which is set to publish to the service. It is sending periodically at a 1-second interval, sending changes, sending everything when it connects, and it is not buffering. And here are the parameters in the group. And you can see right now it's an empty group, but we can just use this wizard here to select D1G1, which is the group of parameters we're reading from the Modbus device. And you can see it automatically maps all of these. So if we now save and commit, and then we come back to our home page here, we can now see MQTT AWS is showing good. If we go into logs, we can see the data that's being transmitted, and we can see it sent all the data to begin with. And now it's only sending what's changing. And if we go into status, we can get the normal statistics that we expect to see about the amount of sent data and the status of the groups and the values that are being pushed. And if we were to go into here now, and we go back to our things, we go to A1, we go to our shadows, our classic shadow, then here we can see the data. And you can see we have some device information that was sent on connect, and we've also got the tags that are being sent as we go. So that's it. With just a few clicks, we can take data from anywhere, in this case from Modbus. We could, if we want, scale it. We could do a unit transform. Maybe we want to say things like, well, we'll only send this value if it changes by 50, such that we reduce bandwidth. And we can push that to AWS. If we've got a device where connectivity is perhaps intermittent, we can come into buffering here and enable that. And we can buffer up to however much we want on the device. So let's say we're going to put half a gig of data, we're going to buffer. And now if the device were to be offline, we would buffer all these messages and then replay them on Connect. So this gives you a very resilient, very easy to configure way of getting data from any industrial device into AWS. Thank you.